friends, and welcome back to my childhood home. We are currently in the kitchen. I don't know if that was obvious or not. And today I want to give you a semi-tour or just kind of a better idea of the house and what we're kind of working with here. Also, thank you guys so much for all the love and support on my last video. I was extremely nervous to post that, to be honest with you. I didn't know what to expect. I know my core audience is wonderful and amazing, but it has reached a lot of new people. So hello and welcome to everyone who has new faces here. So just thank you all so much for the love, the advice, the questions. Speaking of questions, I have a bunch of questions written on a piece of paper. This isn't paper, this is an envelope, because it's all I could find. I want to answer some of your questions while I give you, I'm going to call it a tour, but to be honest with you, there's some places in the house that I and my sister are just, we're not going to show you that yet. Maybe one day when we get to them, I'll show you one, but I will do a better job of explaining the layout, what we're working with, and answer your guys' questions. So we're just going to start in the kitchen since we're in the kitchen, right? One of the things I saw a couple of times that popped up on the last video was people saying, I don't necessarily think that the 35 years of clutter was quite truthful. And I understand where you're coming from. I get what you might think in your mind. It's like things that haven't been touched for 35 years and just piles of stuff. What I mean is like this cabinet right behind me is a perfect example. That cabinet has looked that way and been organized that way with antiques and things like that for 30 years, right? Like it's those things that like they don't get moved or changed or anything like that, and the antiques stay there, which means you can't move the stuff, so therefore you have to work around it and kind of use, you know, like the bottom here for cans and things like that. So I understand where you're coming from, but you are living on top of a generation or two of things. So I'm not going to give you like a full-blown tour of the main level of the house. First off, privacy. Not everybody wants to share all their business on the internet like I do. So I'm going to respect my sister's privacy, but I will give you guys like a good idea and layout of what's going on in each room. So we'll start down here. Also, just to kind of show like how cool and creative my dad was. So like the sink and stuff was not over here. It was the refrigerator when they moved in. And then this had a whole entire wall attachment, and it was like a built-in pantry. And he like knocked all of that out so we have more room in here. I'll kind of show you the things that he has done throughout this entire house while I'm walking through, because he was very creative and very handy, and he did a lot and passed it down to none of his children. None of us are handy or know how to do anything like that. All right, you guys know the room we're in right now, the dining room. Also, the wallpaper stays. That wallpaper is so cute and so gorgeous. I would never like let it go. Also, I found out a fun fact. This right here, this stuff, my mom actually, it was painted yellow when they moved in, and she painted over it and did the staining herself. Isn't that cool? Like, so to make it look like worn. I thought that was cool. I didn't know that. Okay, a few things about in here. People were asking if we could take out this trash that's in here. This stuff was actually gone through and boxed up, and then that's just kind of what happened with it. So no, we're not allowed to put anything, like take anything out of there, or do anything with it. So yes, all the wrapping and boxes you see is stuff that my mom has already gone through, but that's about as far as it got. What else about in here? I think that was mostly it. And then the sunroom back there, I'm not working on that next. I have a bedroom upstairs I'm working on, but I will get to that. And mostly, so that sunroom does have a lot of antiques in it, and you will see it. But mostly that is just stuff that we have nowhere to put because there's already stuff in other places, right? Like the attic is full, the basement is full, the storage rooms in the basement are full. Like that's just big stuff that we don't know what to do with. And also we can donate quite a bit of it. I think a lot of it, I don't want to speak wrong, but like from what I see right now, 3 of the big boxes, they can get donated. They don't need to be in there. That's kind of what Lauren was thinking too. Moving into the front room here. So I'm standing in the front room right now looking into the dining room. Again, this is just a lot of antiques, and a lot of like the drawers and things have other things in them. So you can't really store things in there because they already have a home. But in here, honestly, it's mostly been gone through. It doesn't have a lot of clutter. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's not bad in here at all. My sister's funny. She has obviously 4 big giant poodles, and she's got 4 giant dog beds on the floor. It's real comfy to lay on. But I do want to show you her Christmas tree real quick. Wait till you see it. Isn't that the coolest tree? So she leaves her tree up year round, mostly because she doesn't know where to put it. There's not space for the box it came in, etc., etc. But she also decorates it for every holiday. So she does, like, she did a spring tree, she did a Valentine's Day tree, she did a summer luau tree, and now it's a Halloween tree. And she just goes to, like, the Dollar Tree and spends like $20 on decorations, and that's how beautiful it looks. So I think it's super, super cool. Another question I wanted to answer, I don't think those are Tiffany lamps. I think they are beautiful stained glass, but I think that my mom got them from somebody who makes glass. I don't think those are Tiffany. A lot of people were saying they are beautiful. I really love them. They're gorgeous, but I don't think they're Tiffany. But somebody said, why not just take all of the stuff and put it in one room? You'll kind of get an idea, but every room already has a lot in it. You know what I mean? You'll know more of what I mean when I show you what I mean. Another question that came up a lot was, why don't I live here with Kelly? When I moved in my mid-20s, I moved back home to finish school. It was fun. It was great. I enjoyed it. Kelly was younger. It was just a lot of people living on top of a lot of stuff. There was nothing wrong with it. And I did consider moving back in when I just moved out this most recent time, but my sister and I do get along well, but we also work together, and, you know, we're both adults, and the dynamics, I feel like if working together and living together would just put a strain on the relationship that didn't need to be there. Plus, I really wanted my own space to make my own home, and there's other, like, family dynamics and logistics and stuff that kind of play a point to it that I won't go into, but I just really wanted my own space to, like, go, you know, for me and Kelly to have our own space. That was super important for me. I know I could be saving a lot of money living here, but also you have to take care of your mental health and, like, realizing your boundaries. So yes, obviously I would move back in if it came to it, if I really couldn't afford my apartment anymore, 100%, but it just definitely wasn't, like, my first choice. Now, maybe if we get the whole place cleaned up and there's separate spaces for everyone, yes, but as of right now, it's just a no for me. But because I love my apartment, I love what I'm turning it into, and I love living on my own as well, and I think my sister does too. So I have to go flip over a load of laundry, actually, so I'm gonna show you just the tiniest hair of the basement. See how cute I am? Just look at me. Look at my dress. I was so precious. This is an extremely good idea of the whole vibe of the entire basement. Dumb. Look at all these are all Libby's. See, Libby's. Okay, so the basement was my dad's, like, pride and joy, okay? When they moved in, this wasn't a finished basement. He drywalled the whole thing. He put a bathroom in. This was, like, his area, okay? And he was a huge collector of, like, old movies, and obviously you can just kind of see his vibe. He loved old movies. He loved antiques and collectibles. So this was his, like, area, right? None of it has been touched. None of the collectibles, none of it has been gone through. It's like a time capsule down here. We started going through his clothes and stuff first, and it just kind of hit a standstill because that's a lot to deal with, right? And sometimes it's easier to just kind of ignore it and not go through it. However, it is a lot. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of clothes, and a lot of stuff was brought out into the main living space to be gone through, and that's kind of where it has sat for years. Now, if you guys have followed me or, been watching some of my videos, I decluttered my storage unit that I had for years and years and years. And this basement reminds me, the basement and the attic remind me of my storage unit, because there is a lot of memories and there is a lot of triggers and there is a lot of things to go through. And I understand why it is difficult to attack these things, especially if you're not in the right headspace for it. I understand. I really, really, really do. So yeah, that's what the basement is. I don't know when it'll ever get gone through, if eventually it has to, right? But that's not for me or my siblings to decide. It's really not. I love coming down here, but it's also really hard coming down here, because like Dad would want it to be showcased and beautiful and like how he had it, and it's just not. But it's really hard when you lose the glue of your family. Your whole world just falls apart. Everybody's worlds just fall apart. And we all have to deal with that in our own separate ways. And my dad died 9 months after my son's biological father had taken his own life. So I can only speak for myself and what I was going through when he died. I was going through a lot, trying to raise a newborn, dealing with the first loss, and then 9 months later my dad passes away. And I didn't properly address that until maybe 6 or 7 years after both of their passing is when I first went to therapy and first started going through it. So I know how healing it would be, and how I know the closure that could happen with decluttering down here and getting rid of some of his stuff and letting other people wear his clothes and enjoy his funny shirts and enjoy his dress shirts, and the collectors who would love to have some of his Laurel and Hardy stuff and some of his old baseball stuff. Like, I know what that would feel like, but I can't push that onto my mom or anybody. So this right here is exactly how it feels for a lot of the house. It's not my trauma, and it's not my shit to dig up. It's not, because if I come down here, I was wearing mascara a few days ago. Oh God. Is if I come down here and start rifling through stuff and digging stuff up, it's going to send her into a spiral, an absolute spiral. And that's not healing. That's just adding on top of it. Yeah, hopefully, maybe me bawling and ranting helped you understand a little bit better about down here. But just to give you an idea of the layout, you will come down the stairs. To the left is the bathroom, and he's got a cool ass old pinball machine in there. And that used to be the computer room when we were younger. And then there's the laundry room. And my dad actually, he was so sweet. He finished this basement, and my grandma, his mom, had a stroke, so they moved her into the basement. She had her own bedroom back there, which is a storage room full of stuff now, but he flipped the hot water down here because she had a stroke, and he didn't want her to burn herself, so he flipped the water so it was on the right side and not the left side, so she wouldn't burn herself. He was a grumpy man with ADHD who yelled a lot, but my God, was he sweet and kind and creative. Okay, I'm gonna go flip the laundry real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I had a little bit more of a mental breakdown, but we're fine. Who are you barking? Are you boys cheering me up? Are you boys cheering me up? Thank you. Thank you, babies. I love all of you too. Thank you, I know. Oh, I know. I love you too. And it's like, I fully understand avoiding these feelings. Like, these feelings right now, they're uncomfortable. They're icky. They're gross. I hate it. You can't shove them down. Like, you have to feel them. The only way through your trauma and through all of it is feeling it. But you can lead a horse to water, right? Right. Okay, I think I'm getting off track, but let's get back on track. Another question I wanted to address while I'm down here is why not have Mom take all of the stuff that we don't want to her house? Take this house, copy and paste it into her home. Besides that, her home has been in our family, well, her family, like my mom's side of the family, for longer. Much, much longer. She is the third generation to live there. So do with that information what you will. That's why. And if I haven't clarified, no, Mom does not live here. Mom moved out of this house when I moved out with her I was 16 or 17. I'm now 32. So she has not moved back into this house ever since. Coming here is very difficult for her. Coming to this house holds a lot for her. Again, do with that what you will. It's hard. It's very hard for her. And I understand. It is what it is. But no, she does not live here, and I don't think she ever will. Upstairs we go. Okay, I'm in the hallway of the upstairs. There are 3 bedrooms up here, up to the attic, and a bathroom. Each bedroom still has its own stuff in it, right? It's still, they're not like the sunroom. They're not packed like that, but they each have dressers, antiques, things like that. The dressers have mostly been gone through, actually. The dressers are cleaned out mostly, but there's still antique furniture. There's still closets. None of the closets have been decluttered or gone through in years. The bathroom, my sister has gone through and done stuff with the bathroom because, like, all that stuff in there kind of has to be gone through. It expires and stuff. So my sister's done a real good job of, being able to rotate out the bathroom stuff. But I will show you the room that I am working on right now so that you can have an idea of what we're working with in the other bedrooms. Okay, so a little bit about this bedroom. This is my childhood bedroom. My bed used to be right there. My sister's bed used to be right there. We used to have bunk beds up there. This is where me and my sister, we had our cribs. My crib was over there. Hers was, we shared this room. When Kelly was born and he was here, we put a crib here for him. So this room has seen many different transformations, okay? This dresser is empty. And a lot of this stuff just needs to be gone through. It needs to be donated. It needs to be dealt with, right? Like in that corner over there is a lot of my stuff that was under my bed as a child where I would keep like memories and such. These are, we call this room the floor bed because it's like she has crib mattresses for her dogs. And then for, the bed in here. The bed in here has never had a frame just because it was only twin beds in here. So we never needed a queen frame. And this was my old mattress from when I moved in. This was my mattress. She got a new one because this one isn't very good. Yeah, this is my childhood bedroom. I honestly haven't gotten very far cleaning it, clearly. But I'm sure I'll cry. I'm sure we'll go through the 8 stages of grief all over, whatever the stages of grief are, all over again. But this is I would say this is the messiest bedroom. I would say this is the bedroom that kind of gets put on the back burner. People just shove boxes in here, put stuff in here that they just don't want to deal with. So this bedroom I would say is the worst one. My mom and dad's bedroom, it's pretty fine. It's just the closet needs decluttered. There's a lot of antiques in there, a lot of antique furniture in there. So it's just kind of wall-to-wall furniture. And then my sister's bedroom, hers she's had for years. So her bedroom is just her stuff in there. It's not necessarily like that 35 years worth of stuff as were this bedroom. I don't know if I'll show you guys the closet. If I do, I will show you it in the next video when I'm decluttering this room. So watch that to see if I show you the closet because that is another time capsule. These closets are huge, okay? But it's another time capsule, like freaking flashback to the 90s. I was born in 92. Flashback to the 90s. So the last question I think is, all right, no. Did I already answer all that? So I think this kind of gives you a better idea of why don't you just shove it all in one room? because it's not all gonna fit in one room. That's not how this is gonna work at all. Even when we get all of this like decluttered and open and everything, it's still just not gonna fit all in one room. So I think this is where I'm gonna end this video, because I need to continue to get started on this room, because I'm in here now and I'm more motivated to keep going on it. So I hope I answered your guys' questions. I hope I gave you a better idea of the house and what's going on here. Sorry for having a little bit of a breakdown, but if you've been here for a bit, you know that that happens quite often when we have trauma and loss in our lives, and that's just what we do here, is we try to keep it realistic. So anywho, I will see you guys in the next one. After I finish this bedroom, we have to go back to the apartment and do some stuff, okay? Sorry, I know everyone loves this house and is really excited for it, but I do have stuff I got to finish at my house, okay? We've got to finish our magic bowl numbers, and we have to finish our desk area. Those are still my 2 giant pain points. So I will see you guys in the next one, and thank you so much for being here. Bye.